Welcome to War Room Pandemic. Today we have episode 253. It is June 27th, year of our Lord 2020. Today we are bringing you another one of our weekly specials on the people of China so that we can tell the world what's going on there. We get blown through the firewall on GTV in Mandarin in the afternoon. Shout out to our other broadcasters. Voice of America News on Dish 219. We have John Fredericks Radio, Salem Radio Network, Newsmax at night, and we are also on 103.9 in Chicago. Today's special is called The Rape of Hong Kong, The Crimes of the CCP. We are pleased to bring you one of the great patriots of the Freedom Hong Kong movement. His name is Elmer Yuen. Many of you may know him as the Hong Kong grandfather. He is a patriot. He is a freedom fighter. He is an entrepreneur, and we are pleased to have him. Steve Bannon is on assignment. He will be joining us momentarily. I'm in the war room with Greg Manns. Steve, up to you.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Hear you perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, great. Listen, I just wanted to say, Jack, I know the pandemic is coming roaring back in the United States, and on Monday's show, Jack Maxey and Greg Manns and Raheem Kassam of the team, I'll be on the show. We'll be talking about this big controversy about, are we in a first wave, is this a second wave, etc. But keeping in the tradition of our Saturday specials, which have really gotten international attention, and one thing I want to say off the bat, Jack Maxey, this is his first time in the host chair. You're going to be seeing a lot more of Jack, given what a great job he's doing. But Jack, I know you got excited there, but I just want everybody to know, particularly all the Voice of America people that listen to us every day, since this is a national story, this is not Voice of America News. It's America's Voice.News is our distribution partner at Dish Channel 219. I don't want to have too many heads blowing up in Washington. Michael Pack has not done a deal with the War Room. So,
and now you know why I don't sit in this chair often.
It's the first time. Brother, I love it. I thought you guys cut a deal I didn't know about.
No.
The reason that we want to have Elmer Yuen, the godfather of Hong Kong, back on. We had him on the show during the week. He had this video him and Jimmy Lai had put together called The Rape of Hong Kong. It was quite powerful. We had tremendous viewer feedback on that. But today's show, we got 2 hours. We have Guang in the first half hour, and then Miles Guo will be joining me here on the vessel to discuss a central topic, and that is the criminality of the Chinese Communist Party. The reason we want to start with Guang is that he and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago. He said, listen, there's something on your show that you've been talking about, that I've been listening to, that it really struck me. And that is, the CCP is not a legitimate government. It's really a mafia. It's really a collection of gangsters. And that's really kind of changed his perspective in life. And he's got a huge project he's working on about the crimes of the CCP. But Guang, the first thing I want to do is to talk about the rape of Hong Kong. This week in the U.S. Senate, there was unanimous, consent. There was 100-0 passage of this Hong Kong authorization bill, which at the last second, the mandatory sanctions against Hong Kong institutions and against individuals that are suppressing freedom in Hong Kong was taken out at the last minute. I want to go back and I want to ask you very bluntly, for our global audience, and particularly people here in the United States, when you say the rape of Hong Kong, tell people exactly what has happened in Hong Kong and why you use a term that's so provocative as the rape of Hong Kong.
Last year, you saw all the street riots and the demonstration. So on police record, 10,000 kids were arrested so far. But according to our inside information, more than 20, even 30,000 kids were arrested and sent over to China into some concentration camp. They were tortured, attacked, raped, and some even murdered. And we will never know the whole truth. The communists are very good in hiding evidence. So last year was really the raping of Hong Kong, the young kids. Now, in a few days, they're going to pass this national security law. And if that passes, they can send their police prosecutors, and judges into Hong Kong. And that will be the beginning of ethnic cleansing, very much similar to the Holocaust, because they can arrest people and then either go through their own court system or even send them back to China. So that will be the end of all Hong Kong's freedom, religious, political, speech, everything. So that's why I'm very grateful for passing of this Hong Kong autonomy law. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to stop that law. We need to do something drastic, such as cutting off all US dollar in and out of Hong Kong, in order to show the communists that you mean business. So right now they are getting away with murder, right? These people died of pandemics, are in fact being murdered worldwide, and we cannot allow them to get away with murder.
Guang, let me just stop you. I want to go to one thing. Miles Guo and I started broadcasting on the on G News and GTV on the 4th of June last year of 2019, the first demonstrations. And Miles was saying early on that the police, and particularly as they put these PLA members into Hong Kong, they're arresting these kids and sending them to mainland. I just want to make sure I've got this straight from you. Are you saying that the Chinese Communist Party, you believe, has arrested 20 to 30,000 of these young people and shipped many of them to prisons or to jails in mainland China without the rule of law, without due process, without everything that was guaranteed by the British and essentially the United States in the handover, that these kids have been sent to mainland China, that they are in either prison or jail, some have been raped, some have been tortured, some have been beaten, and some have even been killed? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I agree with Miles. His information is probably the best in the world on China, right? He is like a hub. Everybody give him information. And so far, sometimes he's off in timing a little bit, but never in accuracy. So from my information also matched the same. A lot of kids were shipped to China. And in fact, today, I just want everybody to know, today, they were trucks, military trucks, entering Hong Kong. And with a lot of military people, military police, today, right now, at this moment.
Guang, let me ask you, I got to ask you this question. Hong Kong is one of the great cities in the world. It's the third most important capital market in back of Wall Street in New York City, the city of London. In London, Hong Kong is the great third capital market in the world. How can it possibly be that Miles Guo and yourself have been saying that these kids have been shipped, they've been beaten, they're in jails in mainland China, they've had no due process, now you're saying there's military trucks in Hong Kong? How can that be? In the world's media, we don't hear this story from the world's media. You don't hear from the Times of London, you don't hear from the Guardian, you don't hear from the New York Times, Washington Post. They have little bits of information, but they're not covering this as a narrative. Explain to people how the BBC and all the great organs of the West can be avoiding this story.
The communist Chinese are the best in covering up. Like Hong Kong, all the media, whether newspaper or TV or radio, everybody's bought except Apple Daily and Epoch Time. These are the only two independent media left. And worldwide, they pay off everybody, like CNN, BBC, you name it. They have way to pay off everybody, so you don't get all the information. But most totalitarian regimes does the same. You remember, nobody knew about the Jewish Holocaust until they saw the gas chamber and then the dead body. You understand? We cannot wait for evidence. By the time you see the evidence, many people are dead. So same thing with the U.S. 120,000 people have died, and there are going to be 200,000. And people pretend it was an accident. So and waiting for evidence. By the time you have evidence, it could be another 200,000. Who knows? So you need to protect yourself and take drastic measures.
Yuen, I want to ask one more question about what the West should do. I've called this that Hong Kong is the Czechoslovakia of this crisis, that it's 1938, and that we can't have a Munich, we can't have a Neville Chamberlain, we cannot under any circumstances basically allow this to continue. We can't look the other way. What would you recommend as a senior Hong Kong businessman and a capitalist? What would you recommend that the United States and the West must do to avoid a catastrophe in Hong Kong?
Cut off the US dollars in and out. Give them notice in 30 days. So all your money can come back to the States. And some of our money can also come back to the United States stock market. And then that's Hong Kong. If in another 30 days they continue to behave like this, cut off all the US dollar in and out of the People's Republic of China. That's the way to deal with them. Decouple with them, because they mean harm. They want to get rid of you. You must get rid of them first.
If you did that, Guang, wouldn't the argument is, and the CCP is making this argument, and their allies on Wall Street, if you did what you and Miles Guo say is necessary in Hong Kong, it will hurt the Hong Kong people. It will hurt the young people. It will hurt the little guy that the billionaires will make out, but it's really going to hurt the people. What's your response to that?
We are willing to pay the price to get freedom.
Elmer, this is Jack Maxey. I just want to interject that I admire you so much, and I've got tears in my eyes too, my friend. And we support you. And I wonder maybe we could segue to a little bit. We've only got a minute or so in this segment before our break, but could you talk a little bit about how important it is to get these Hong Kong students university spots in America?
In fact, all we need is an executive order from President Trump to allow the kids to get a visa and apply to school without their arrest record. Because with arrest record, very hard to get a visa and very hard to get to any college. They are very good students. They know how to, they can be treated as any other U.S. students.
Well, we should bring them. And listen, guys, we only have about 60 seconds left before the break, but we're going to come back here and we're going to continue talking about this. What's so important for our American audience is all of us are wound up with this with a lot of emotion, because when you see the bravery of these young kids and you know what the result is. I mean, we're talking about life and death here, people. This is a great moral struggle for the whole entire world to free us from the dark star of the CCP. And I want everybody out there who's listening to look at Elmer and see the pain in his eyes and understand his bravery. And all of us should take his lead and follow his example, because this is the great moral crusade of our generation to free the world from this criminal organization called the CCP. We're going to get some of our sponsors in and we'll be right back. Thanks so much.
Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back to War Room Pandemic, episode 253, The Rape of Hong Kong, Crimes of the CCP. We have a special guest on today, Elmer Yuen, an incredible patriot who the whole world needs to listen to, and I'm going to toss it back to Steve Bannon right now. Welcome back.
Listen, we're talking about some of the most important issues of our day, and you understand the conflict, but not just a pandemic and an economic crisis, but a global financial crisis, and obviously a geopolitical crisis. This is the CCP virus that triggered this, and every Saturday we focus on the Chinese Communist Party and what it's done to the Chinese people and to people throughout the world. Look, in these turbulent times, entrepreneurs are going to lead us through this. As you see, the entrepreneurs that have left mainland China are trying to help free the Chinese people. NetSuite by Oracle is the tool you need if you're an entrepreneur. It's the number one on the cloud, over 20,000 businesses from 1 million to 10 million, $100 million in revenue. So make sure if you're an entrepreneur, use NetSuite by Oracle. Go to netsuite.com/Bannon, Bannon. 7 steps that every entrepreneur should be taking these turbulent times. Elmer, I want to go to this project that you're working on now about the criminality of the Chinese Communist Party. You call it a crime organization, a mafia. This is what Miles Guo has been talking about for many years. But people say that you and Miles Guo are too radical, are too hard, or too harsh, that you're not practical, that the Chinese Communist Party is actually the legitimate government of China and the legitimate government of the Chinese people. Why do you say the opposite? Why do you say it's a criminal organization? Why do you say it's a mafia?
In the last 71 years, they have committed more than 15 crimes against humanity. And in fact, right now with this three-month-old baby that they have forced abortion, way over 1 billion unnatural death in the last 71 years. And somehow the world let them get away. And they were so good in hiding evidence. That's why you're never going to find anything what happened in Wuhan. Never. So they're so good. And I was listening to your June 4th show, and suddenly you were arguing between terrorists or criminal, and you picked criminal. And I said, great. I remember how Giuliani cleaned up New York City, all the crime families, using this RICO Act, and how he wiretapped all those criminals, and then whoever is related, all these members of the crime family, all automatically became criminal. So I'm using that on the CCP, and I believe it's going to work. So I saw a few congressmen last week, and they are in full support. We want, and they suggest the name Criminalized CCP Act. All right, that's the law. I think it's a good name. And then, so I'm going to use two routes. One is legislation, which is I'm working right now in Capitol Hill, and the other one I think we should sue them in court. And you know Mr. Giuliani well, and I hope he can support us because he is the inventor of this RICO law. And we can either go through using federal prosecutors, and I'm suggesting we form an alliance with your Rule of Law Foundation, because that's what it means, rule of law. We should go after them, maybe at a class action, then every Chinese who suffer can sign up to become a member of this class action. And we go to a federal court, we sue them, and money is secondary. Important thing is they must be named as a criminal organization, and all their 90 million members must be named as criminals, so that they will leave the party in drones and no new blood will ever join, because they should be subject to the same sanction, the most severe sanction, like the Magnitsky Act. So this is why I'm proposing. I'm going to stay here as long as I need to make this work. This is using law to destroy the CCP. That's the objective of my visit here.
Elmer, I just want to make sure I'm clear about this. You're saying that you're going back over time on this project, looking over 71 years of the rule of the Chinese Communist Party over the Chinese people, and you say that there are 15, you're going to present that there are 15 crimes against humanity that have been perpetrated by the Chinese Communist Party. Do I hear that correctly?
Absolutely. And everyone is a crime against humanity.
I want to go to one other thing. You said that all 90 million members and people in the United States are just coming to this understanding. Of the 1.4 billion people in China, there's only 90 million that are in the Chinese Communist Party. And you are saying that you're going to make the case and you're going to help work with trying to get the attention of federal prosecutors, either through working with Rudy or other people, to try to make the case that all 90 million members of the Chinese Communist Party in China are criminals?
Absolutely. You join a criminal you join a gang, you are a gangster. That's the understanding. And that's how Rudy Giuliani cleaned up New York. So New York is now livable. I used to come at 70s, 80s. It's not livable. It's terrible. Pornography everywhere. And now it's a livable city, very nice city.
One other thing I want to go through is to talk about this idea of yours of actually cutting off the money to this criminal organization. With Wall Street being in business with this mafia, with the corporations of the world being in this business with this mafia, with the city of London being in business with this mafia, how do you possibly expect the ability to actually attack them as a criminal organization, a criminal institute, if all the money centers in the world and all the banks in the world and all the big corporations in the world are prepared to kowtow to this criminal organization? How do you expect to win?
The Wall Street, I don't care, Goldman or Morgan, once that CCP is a criminal organization, whatever contract these investment bankers sign with them, on the other side will be a CCP member, a communist member, and I don't think anybody dares to sign an agreement with a man who is under sanction. This is very simple. You don't do business with anyone who's under sanction. So I believe, of course, I'm not waging a war or anything, but a kinetic war. But at least whoever do business with China or any communist-related company or organization will consider whether they are breaking the law or not. I believe there's such a thing as secondary sanction.
We get time for about two more questions. One I've got to get to. Something you said earlier about forced abortions and the CCP as a criminal organization. Tell the world what you mean by that. What's a forced abortion, and how has the Chinese Communist Party forced young women to have abortions?
Since the 80s, they have this one-child policy, all right? And anytime you have more than one child, regardless of how old the baby in the womb, they actually take out the baby alive. And the baby would be still, moving, and put it in the corner, and I believe the number is over 400 million since the 80s. Babies they murdered. I'm not talking about normal abortion. I'm talking about forced abortion. They actually catch you and then actually go reach in and grab the baby out. That's what they do. Sorry, I have to be so raw.
Last question. The CCP makes the argument to governments. They make the argument to financial institutions. They make the argument all over that the Chinese people are not ready for democracy. The Chinese people are not ready for rule of law. The Chinese people are not ready for freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly. They're so backward and uneducated and chaotic that if the Chinese Communist Party is not there, Elmer, the nation will devolve into chaos and civil war, and there's no alternative. What say you, sir?
You believe in the communists, you die. That's what Navarro said. All right? They lie, you die. That's the result. It's so obvious. Look at how many people died. Because they lied, they cover up the truth. All right? And delay the reporting. Everything they do, all the numbers they gave are nothing but a lie. We should listen, but we should never believe.
Okay, we have 1 minute left, gentlemen.
Yeah, Jack, find out just how Elmer, if he has a Twitter feed or how people get more access to these projects he's working on.
Elmer's Jack, you could give us your Twitter handle?
I'm really an individual. I'll supply to you.
Okay, great.
My email address is elmeryuen@gmail.com.
All right, Elmer.
Hashtag War Room Pandemic, Jack. I want to make sure everybody's getting in there. Hashtag War Room Pandemic. I want to hear everybody's voices on this. And Jack, when you go to break, we're going to return. We've got Miles Guo. It's a double hitter today. Elmer, Yuen, and Miles Guo on the criminality of the Chinese Communist Party and what they've done to the Chinese people.
It's unbelievable, and I want everybody to stay tuned. Go to hashtag War Room Pandemic. We're getting a lot of feedback. I think people are just overly impressed by just the courage, the moral courage of Elmer Yuen. You give everybody heart. Back in a minute.
Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back to War Room Pandemic. We're doing one of our Saturday specials on Communist China. This is called The Rape of Hong Kong, the crimes against the CCP. We are going to be joined momentarily by another special guest, Miles Guo. We know him as the leader of the whistleblower movement. He is the man who is responsible for bringing the story of the CCP's criminality to the world. And now I'm going to hand it back to Stephen K. Bannon.
Jack, I want to, ask you and Greg are in the war room today, anchoring. You guys have been with us since the beginning, and particularly over the last 10 or 12 weeks as we've done the voices of the people of mainland. But to have two senior guys, and particularly have someone like Elmer, one of the most prominent businessmen in Hong Kong, to come on the show and to break down, talking about the young people. This goes back to Jimmy Lai, when Jimmy Lai last, I think it was October or November, was on 60 Minutes in the United States. And Jimmy Lai at the end of the broadcast broke down and started weeping and said, hey, our generation, he means Elmer and himself, who are the two, I think, top guys in Hong Kong. He says, our generation did not confront the reality of the CCP decades ago when we could see what was happening, right? But just like the rest of the world, we didn't want to believe it. We wanted to look the other way and hope that they would change, hope that they would reform. And now you have today. And I think for Elmer Yuen to actually say and reiterate what Miles has been saying for many, many months, that tens of thousands of young Hong Kong kids have been taken into these prisons in mainland and beaten and tortured, right? Sometimes raped, murdered. And you see that on his video he made with Jimmy Lai, The Rape of Hong Kong. And we're going to play it again today on War Room, and it'll be up on GTV later, right? In Epic Times and NTD TV. These voices of freedom. I mean, Jack, before I turn to Miles, I want to get your response, because I know that you've been so involved and engaged in this. You're the first guy to tell me back in January or in December of 2019 about the pandemic. Well, what's your response? What's your thinking? What does the audience have to say on War Room Pandemic so far?
The audience is lit up. They understand the emotion of it, and I have to say, Steve, I know that there's no crying in baseball, but I get very emotional sometimes thinking about these kids and thinking about the Chinese people, and recognizing that, as a person, I have a moral responsibility to stand up for these guys. And when you see somebody who's willing to put everything on the line, he knows that he's fighting a battle that, he may not live to see it be won, but it's up to us. And every day I'm in contact with the Chinese students in Hong Kong. Every day I'm in contact with dissidents. Maybe even later I'll bring something up. They're tearing down the ancient art studios inside Beijing, using the CCP virus as an excuse. And it's just, to me, it is a great honor to be able to participate and stand alongside these these patriotic Chinese people who just want to be free?
You know, I want to reiterate what Jack just said. Such a great honor. I remember our guest is now Miles Grove, one of our colleagues and partners and a true patriot. Miles, I remember a year ago in June when we started doing the Hong Kong broadcast, and you told me something. You've been saying it for a long time, but it was just starting to really get traction with me. You said you still look at the CCP like a Westerner. You still look at the CCP as your Wall Street days or your government days. You look at the CCP as a legitimate government. And he says, you can't look at it like that, and you're going to see in this Hong Kong situation that they're criminals. They're mafia. They think like mafia. They act like mafia. They control people like mafia. There's no reforming. And you will see as we go through the Hong Kong situation. And you told me on the first day that they had the huge march, this is all about, they're going to take control of Hong Kong. That's what this is about. And don't let any of the media tell you anything different. We just had Elmer on here who broke down in the middle of his, started weeping, couldn't even get himself, just like Jimmy Lai did on 60 Minutes. Walk us through. How can the world have missed that the Chinese Communist Party is actually a criminal organization and not a legitimate government? They're actually a mafia and not a legitimate government.
Thank you, sir. I'm very honored is the joining you war room. That I can really appreciate everybody. You know, sir, we are 3 years before we sensed the whistleblower.
The whistleblower movement.
Then 2 years ago I meet you. I with you is to talk about CCP, not illegitimate is the government. It's a hooligan, it's a gangster, mafia group. Why? You since 1913, fall and May, China first democracy and the freedom movement. Since the time CCP from Russia joined to China, this is the democracy movement. They guarantee give Chinese, so you can suit this the land road, you be the one. Then Chinese can get the same America democracy and freedom.
Just so I understand this, in the 1913 four-made movement that Pottinger talked about, that's where the old empire fell, and there was a chance to have democracy and a republic and freedom. But that the Bolsheviks in Russia took over with the communists in China and lied about all that. So there's no freedom, there's no democracy, there's no republic.
So this is right, it's a cheater, right?
Do you think the Bolsheviks are criminals too?
Yes, definitely.
Pure criminals.
Pure criminals. That's why 1949, CCP get China the country region. They guarantee can vote. Everybody can vote. Right?
Mao Zedong guaranteed people could vote, and he also guaranteed land reform.
Yeah, land reform.
So he told everybody you can vote.
Yes, 1949 until now, nobody owned the land, nobody vote, right? Then
hang over a second. So they promised Mao and the communists promised democracy, and they promised land reform, that you could own the.
This is the regime, the power from the vote. They never give the vote. One person, one vote, never happened, right? And there's a land reform, no give the land, to anybody, right? It's CCP owned the land. Then after 1949, they get this the power, country power. They have two slogan. Every power from the guns.
Every power, all power from the barrel of a gun.
Yeah, barrel of the guns, right?
That's Mao saying.
Slogan. This slogan is to see every power from the guns. From the guns to the power, not legal. It's
no rule of law.
No rule of the law. That's right. Secondly, don't deliver. Everybody give you vote and give you land. It's a cheater. Then they make a cultural revolution. Then is the family planning is because the this.
But hang on, cultural revolution then in the 60s, and what was the purpose of the cultural revolution?
1956. It's just after 1949. They get the country power. They are making hungry, angry, no food, inside the struggle, and the politics, Then they want the inside because of struggle. They are making the family planning, that kill 400 million people.
Oh, you're saying because of their failed effort in industrialization and agriculture, the huge famine
Yes.
led them to believe we have to go to just one child.
Yeah, they don't want to give you land. They no food to give you. No food. How can kill you? They no guns to kill too many people. They call planning, a family planning. Don't want to have more baby.
Look, Elmer just said something on here that you and I have talked about privately, but I've never heard it actually said out loud. He said it, and you and I have talked about it. He said there's a total misconception in the West. The one-child policy has led to 400 million forced abortions. Not early abortions, but where there's actually a baby.
Yes.
Is that true?
You have 100%. This is Mr. Yuen. I'm a really, owner. It's from Hong Kong. It's a billionaire. It's a really man, really Chinese man, not a very man. It's talking everything. It's because him is a watch. And now this is 70 years what has happened, CCP in China, in Hong Kong. I like Mr. Yuen is talking about all this, the effect. This is not only whistleblower. So him is the life, all this is very hard work, successful business, and it's a big help Chinese, make China stronger. Him how China really can get a democracy, rule over the law. That never happened. That's why him is very successful. Now it's fight back to CCP. Because him now, I know, CCP cannot give one more days. This is the hooligan, it's the mafia. We only can take it on them. That's why we since 1913, 1917, 1949, 1956, Cultural Revolution, 1960, and the Cultural Revolution again. They is the family, planning as a one child, one policy. This Hong Kong come back. They all the cheater, liar, and the kill. It's last 50 years, 70 years. CCP is only believe the power from the guns. CCP only use the Qing Dynasty 5 strategy is the control the people, make you poor, make you lose dignity, make you is the low education, make you and is no money, okay? If you don't listen to me, kill you. That's all this, CCP 5 strategy since the 1913. They stole my country, the future. They cheated us, give democracy and the rule of the law. That's the fundamental reason. It's a hooligan against the criminal group.
Okay, we've only got a few minutes in this segment. We'll come back. I want to go back to something. You're saying because they promised democracy, they promised land reform, that Lao Beijing, old 100 natives, is going to own their land.
Yes.
They promised this. That was part of the reason they won the civil war against Kuomintang, and they were able to, because the people said, okay, we want democracy, we want freedom, we want land reform. And you're saying that Mao Zedong said all power comes from the barrel of a gun.
Yes.
That's the way a mafia...
Today, same. Xi Jinping, Wang Jian, same, every day.
The PLA?
PLA,
Is that their tool of one of the tools of suppression of the Chinese people?
Yes. You watch all the China media everywhere. It's the same as slogan everywhere. Your father, mother cannot compete their party. Every power from the guns. They never see every power from the wall, from the rule of the law. That's a different America.
They never talk about democracy. They never talk about a vote.
No, this is the democracy is different. Democracy is the CCP enemy. That's why it's the hooligan against them.
Why is the world, given this criminality, and Elmer's going through and doing 70 years, he says there's 15 crimes against humanity by the CCP. Why is the world, we only got a couple of minutes here, but why is the world
1 minute to break, guys,
not focused? Okay, hang on. Well, let's take a break and we'll come right back.
We've got a minute here, and I just wanted to say, Miles Guo, people have to listen to this guy. He is a hero. You cannot imagine how important he is to Chinese people, and how important it is that our broadcast gets out there. We just got a post from War Room Pandemic, and I hope this is Mr. Elmer Yuen is listening. It says, "Great show today. Elmer was very moving. I will be contacting my congressmen, senators, and White House to support these bills, criminalize the CCP, support RICO, and keep our money from Hong Kong. God bless all the Chinese people." Back in 2 minutes.
Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back to War Room Pandemic. We're doing a special Saturday show on the Chinese Communist Party, the rape of Hong Kong, crimes of the CCP. We are pleased to have Miles Guo on here and Stephen K. Bannon. To you, Steve.
Listen, it's been a very special show today. We've had two of the most prominent expatriate businessmen in China, Elmer Yuen and Miles Guo, both talking about the criminality of the Chinese Communist Party. Remember, the reason we're doing this is to talk about this great geopolitical struggle that's going to go on in the 21st century that's happening to now, even before your eyes. It's the reason we're doing the pandemic show. These are turbulent times. It's entrepreneurs that are going to get us through these turbulent times. If you're an entrepreneur, you need NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite by Oracle is the principal tool, software tool for entrepreneurs. Remember, Oracle's the top platform on the cloud. This software package is now in over 20,000 businesses. So if your business is 1 million to 100 million, you need NetSuite by Oracle. Go to netsuite.com/Bannon, Bannon, and go today. Get the 7 action steps you need to take if you're an entrepreneur. NetSuite by Oracle. I want to go to something, Miles, that you told me about a couple of years ago, but honestly, it took a while for me to understand it because it's from ancient Chinese history, but it's so relevant today. And it's really hit me over the last couple of weeks how relevant it is to the United States of America today, given Antifa. You talked about this concept of control the people, control the country, and that it actually came from ancient history in China, an individual named Lord Shang. And it's called the 5 strategies to weaken the people, okay? Those 5 strategies are what? I want you to just walk through slowly what they are, but you're saying the whole concept here was weaken the people, control the people, and control the country. And the whole concept of Lord Shang is not to lift up the people, it's to oppress the people and to control them. What are you talking about when you go back to the Qing dynasty? You talk about Lord Shang, and you talk about the 5 strategies to control the people.
Yes, sir. Yeah, all the West the world, also America, you want to know CCP. What is the real CCP, the true color? You need to know Xi Jinping and Wang Qishan and Chairman Mao. They are is the spirit, and they control the country, the solution. They control the country, the solution, out from Qing dynasty. They are really admire Qing dynasty, and Russia, Stalin, and Hitler. This is the hero.
Hold it, Hitler, Stalin, and the Qing dynasty.
That is the Qin Shi Huang, China first the king, right? First the king is the Qin Shi Huang, called Qin Shi Huang, Qin first the king. So the Qin Shi Huang is the solution. It's the 5 strategy control the people.
5 strategies to control the people.
Yeah, number 1, brainwash.
Number 1 is brainwash.
Now you look at China, this is a firewall. Brainwash. American help China build a firewall. It's a propaganda called brainwash, right? Still there. This is CCP. Number 2, you look at it. I want the people. It's very weird. No money, no food, no healthy. Then you must be follow the country.
So no food to keep you hungry, no good health care to keep you sick.
Yeah, you in China, 1.4 billion country. It's the number 1 economy country. No health care system.
No health care
No
system.
health care system. Do you think? Could you check? And you look at all the Chinese, they look at no more people say with me, very healthy, very stronger. They no workout, no healthy, they everyday drunk, and no power to succeed. CCP don't want you too healthy, too stronger. They like you drunk every day. Look at Chinese, everybody have sick. This is too bad. So where you no stronger, don't focus democracy, government, do anything. So 3, you out of China, you look at Chinese, every day work 10 hours, 15 hours. That's very, very hard work, all the Chinese. Before WTO, Chinese now 2 days weekend. Do you remember, sir? Because America pushed to China, you want to send WTO, the contract, you need to give 1 week, 2 holiday, weekend day. Before, no weekend day.
You're saying, hang on, before WTO and America came in there, that in their strategy is work 7 days a week. You work all the time,
Yeah.
long hours, no time off,
Yeah.
no time for relaxation,
Yeah.
no time for revolution.
You CCTV, everyone say, oh, you look at the people because of very hard work die. That's a hero. You
I
die.
mean, work yourself to death, you're a hero.
You're the hero. Everything is called this. This is brainwash. The American put oh, you need to give the Chinese, the worker, the people, at every week have 2 days as a weekend day. China don't want the CCP. You can ask all the American government, but I really appreciate Americans say, you must be sign the contract, 1 week, 2 days relax. You look, this is making you busy, make you weird, brainwash. You cannot follow the government. What is wrong? What is where to go to money? What is the demand? You forgot, right?
Right.
That's 3. Number 4 is called solid you. Give you a lot of mission. Give you a lot of goals. Then what? You look, they everything is make it be hatred. America want to kill you. Japanese kill us. It's the millions of people. Anti-America, because you are doing anti-America, you are die. American cheat our money. Americans is evil. White people is evil. You look at Xinjiang people want to kill you. Tibet people want to kill you. They make the hatred, make you too many enemies, the tigers. That's why CCP is Rugen. Fight God, fight the earth, fight the people. We have successful. They make a hatred to America, to white world. You see, Christian, Catholic, lie, cheater, no God in the world, only CCP in the world. That's the CCP. Make you too much focus, make the hatred. Then you lose the focus to CCP. This is the fault.
Gentlemen, we have 30 seconds left here. So
I tell you what, let's take a break. I don't want to rush this for 30 seconds. We'll come back at the top of the hour, Jack, after we hear from War Room Pandemic and all the crowd. You take us out, and we're going to come back with Miles Groh. Control the people, control the country, the 5 strategies of the Qing dynasty and Mao Zedong and President Xi. Next.
You're shocked?
we'll be back in the next hour with CCP crimes against the Chinese people. Stay tuned.